Hey y'all. Welcome to this Kingdom Things podcast meets Oneness Connection. So it's the Kingdom Things podcast meets Oneness Connection series. My name is Ashley Nicole Phillips. I am the biblically prophesied Messiah. Full circle moment alert. So are you. Why, Ashley? What I have in me, you have in you. What you have in you, I have in me. We are a part of a grand design, most commonly known as God, or the oneness of all things, in which we all have an intentional purpose seated within our soul, an intentional frequency that is our soul, authentic frequency that we are being charged to go within to align our intentions, our conscious intent with, and aligning our intentions and our conscious intent with our soul's purpose, mission, and frequency is the journey of existence. We are all being guided as the humanity of planet Earth to go within, which leads me to the Kingdom Things podcast initiative. 30 minutes a day. This is a call to action. Kingdom Things podcast, Oneness Connection, call to action. 30 minutes a day, meditate, sit with yourself, ask yourself, self, soul, what do I need to know? And wait for the answer. However those answers align into your reality, they're going to come. But for every individual, we all have unique frequencies, unique frequential patternings, or unique encodements, unique soul prints that perceive reality and existence and express reality and existence in a unique way. 30 minutes a day, sit with yourself, whether you're traditionally meditating or you're riding your bike or you're cooking or you're painting or you're taking a walk in the park. Be with yourself and have that conscious, inquisitive, wondrous, open spirit to learn more about yourself. In order to come into conscious alignment, further conscious alignment for your purpose of being created, the reason why God or our created you. However you perceive God or the Creator, take it that way, please and thank you. Within this Kingdom Things podcast, I'm going to be looking at my notes a lot. Within this Kingdom Things podcast meets Oneness Connection series, the series is called We Are Not the Game. And it's meant to uplift humanity. It's meant to empower humanity in a centrifugal way, in which we understand the centrifugal force that connects us all is way beyond this physical reality or realm of creation. We are not the game. Intention. Oxford language defines intent. We're going to read two definitions. We're going to read two definitions for intent. Oxford English Dictionary. Intent. The act or fact of intending or purposing. Intention. Purpose formed in the mind. Formerly also, in more general sense, will, inclinations. The second definition, intent. Having the mind strenuously bent upon something, earnestly attentive, sedulously occupied, eager. So, having our intentions or our intent as individual expressions of soul, source energy, or the God, the oneness of all things, as our physical manifestations or ourselves, as each human is a physical manifestation of the oneness of all things, source or God, and which we call self. Sitting with ourselves for 30 minutes a day, becoming more inquisitive about ourselves, what we are doing is we're actively, consciously, and setting that intention to actively, consciously align your conscious intentions with your soul's intentions or universal forces or the oneness of all things or God. Once we align our, again, the journey of alignment, soul alignment is a journey of creation. I am going to link below in the description of this video the Kingdom Things podcast sermon that I did with Rabbi Yeshua, in which myself and Rabbi Yeshua channeled energies and messages in regards to old human nature being focused in on planetary needs, planetary day-to-day needs, which dropped human consciousness into the third dimension, into lower consciousness understanding of reality, of self, and of creation. what we're doing is we're rising out of the third dimensional expression and perception of our self, creation, and God in order to align with the universal force, universal power, or all things. Setting the intention to align your conscious intentions with all things will allow you to be assisted and uplifted by your soul or universal forces that expand far beyond the planet, which allows for what, Ashley? Miraculous manifestations, aligns for wellness, which brings me to the Kingdom Things podcast, or God's 10-year prophecy. Within the year 2033, we will be a human consciousness of planet Earth that understands we're working towards, and we are a civilization of planet Earth with no death, no famine, no war, world peace, no disease, no poverty, as death, famine, war, disease, and poverty were creations, paradigms that we created in the sunken third dimension perception of ourselves and of reality, of God, of creation, which will create wellness for all. Aligning our conscious intentions with our soul's intentions, or the oneness of all things, will allow for the wellness of all things, all humans, all planetary creation, all universal God creation, the oneness of all things. Now, you might be asking yourself, why would you not want the wellness for all things? Well, trauma or pain, which creates the illusion of separation of self and of reality, causes us to consciously and unconsciously not want wellness for all things. Again, the trauma or pain, which creates illusion of separation within ourselves, the dimensions of ourselves and of our reality, creates conscious and unconscious intentions that do not align with the wellness of all things. We all carry these traumas and pains. So we must understand that we all have energies within us that do not want the wellness for all things. And that's why the journey of reality is a journey and not a destination. We are aligning our soul intentions with our conscious intentions to allow for an exploration of divinity, an exploration of humanity meeting divinity. What do we create as we align our souls with our human intentions? As we align the wellness for all, because our souls only always want the wellness for all. As our souls, our source, our God creation. What do we create when we align our souls with the wellness for all? What do we create when we align our souls with our human nature? That's what God wants to see. God wants to experience what the human being of planet Earth creates when we align our souls with our human intentions, our human nature, which our human nature is something that is to evolve as we shift within. We allow with the shifting of paradigms without. The universal principle of correspondence, as below, so above, everything that we hold within projects our reality. This truly is a one-on-one journey, a one-on-one self-exploration. Do not underestimate the power of self, as your one-on-one self-exploration journey creates a way for energies to permeate our reality, to shift this paradigm into alignment with the oneness of all things. Universal force is God, all creation, which equals what? The wellness for all. Trauma or pain, which creates the illusion of separation within ourselves and ourselves with our different dimensions of our reality, causes us to narrow our scope of success, narrow our scope of accomplishment, narrow our scope of intention to acquiring money, power, success, respect. And this is the old human nature. Desiring copious amounts of money, power, respect, success, in order to create the illusion of hierarchy, the illusion of success within this reality. New human nature, healing, allows us to align with our soul intentions or the oneness of all things. And healing is simply understanding that our traumas and pains and the experiences that created our traumas and pains, our experiences that we contracted on a soul level or a conscious level, conscious awareness of all things, conscious awareness of how every experience that we contracted to experience would shape us and shift us into who we wanted to be in order to create our next embodiment of self. Healing is understanding that everything that created the trauma and pain is something that we contracted to do on a conscious level, through a conscious scope of self, in order to impact reality in the way in which our souls intended to impact reality. How do we come into conscious awareness of how our souls intended to how do we come into conscious reality when in regards to how our souls intended to impact reality? Aligning with your soul intentions or self-awareness, spending time with yourself, having an open and honest, inquisitive nature about yourself, loving yourself into new dimensions of yourself, understanding that every dimension of yourself is intentional in order for you to learn more about yourself. Be inquisitive about yourself. Understand that everything you perceive in your reality is a dimension of yourself. Whenever you perceive something, drop down into your heart space and ask yourself, self, what did I intend by this? What do I intend to learn from this? In order to grow into further conscious awareness of your soul intentions or your God creator essence, your conscious God consciousness. New human nature is a healed human nature, healing human nature, in which we come into alignment and continue to come into alignment with existential understanding. Why was I created? What was the intention, purpose behind my creation? And this will allow for the abundance of all things. When we have an understanding of our purpose and an existential means, when we come into further alignment, further understanding of our existential purpose, because there is not only one purpose. There is not only one destination. It's a forever infinite journey of expanding into more, which I'll link below a lecture that I did within Kingdom Things podcast. Kingdom Things podcast with Nicole Phillips is available to stream on YouTube and Spotify. That's where I publish much of my journey of becoming more of my soul self, my soul alignment. Kingdom Things podcast with Nicole Phillips is available on YouTube as well as Spotify. I did a lecture which I channeled Pleiadian teachings, ancient esoteric planetary teachings, in regards to our connection to all things and how we're impactful in this reality when we are connected to our all things or our purpose of creation or existential understandings. So I want to thank y'all so much for joining me on this Kingdom Things podcast meets Oneness Connection series installment of We Are Not the Game. Below, I mentioned some content that I'm going to link below that expounds upon what we spoke about in this video. I'll also be linking a Oneness Connection Energetic Upliftment transmission that I did on healing the hierarchy paradigm that will also be linked below. There's nothing wrong with playing the game. We are not the game, but there's nothing wrong with playing the game. We came here to play the game. We came here to play the game. My ancestors tell me all the time, play the game, Ashley. Play the game. You came here to play the game. Enjoy yourself. Play the game. But now we're stepping into paradigms in which we're heart-centered game players. When we're heart-centered game players, what happens? We allow for abundance of all things, the wellness of all things, and a goddess dream, a gameplay that we want to experience, where we don't have to have our scopes out, we don't have to shoot, we don't have to fire on people, we don't have to be paranoid about being fired back on, because we were only always supposed to understand that we are each other, and anything you do to somebody else you're doing it to yourself. Anything anybody else is doing it's allowing you to understand the scope in which you can create. If you see something doing something wonderful that you want to experience, that allows you to know that that energy stream is prevalent in this reality for that to become a possibility for yourself in your own way. So we're shifting into new ways of being, and it feels like death. It's not death. It is an energetic shedding, which feels like death. It's not death. It's new beginnings. Evolution only gets better. As we evolve, ourselves in reality only gets better. God does not take something away to give you crumbs. If you're eating a turkey sandwich, God doesn't take away your turkey sandwich and give you bread crusts. If you're eating a turkey sandwich, God takes away your turkey sandwich and gives you a Thanksgiving feast. Okay? Okay. Shifting into new ways of being feels like death. It's not death. It's only new beginnings. Evolution equals only gets better. Appreciating the process allows us to have gratitude for our divine alignment. Again, my name is Nicole Phillips. Thank you so much for joining me on this Kingdom Things podcast meets Oneness Connection Energetic Upliftment series. We are not the game. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Like this video if you're able to take away anything that was uplifting to you. Don't be afraid to share the love, the video. I'm a divine channel, as we all are. I channel, again, energies and messages for the upliftment of the human culture within Oneness Connection Energetic Upliftment, as well as Kingdom Things podcast with Nicole Phillips. I'm also a singer. My music, Nicole Music, is available here on YouTube, or on YouTube. Is available on YouTube. I'm also an intuitive cook. I love cooking. I'm also an intuitive cook. I really enjoy cooking. Magic Meals with Nicole Phillips is available on YouTube. I am also an author. I authored the Unconditional Love Literature Parcel, which is actually what assists my soul with showing me, my existential understandings of self, why I was created. My ancestors say, you don't know who you are, actually sit down, let us show you. Channel these books. I know you had insecurities about writing, but we're gonna help you out. So they helped me out, and I authored the Unconditional Love Literature Parcel. It is a 3-part book series that is now available in the Amazon bookstore. We're gonna go ahead and roll into the Unconditional Love Literature Parcel trailer. I hope you enjoy the books as much as I do. $29.97 for the digital copies, $29.98 for the physical. The digital copy comes in 3 books. Physical copy is 2 books. 2 separate books. The first 2 parts are in 1 book. The 3rd part is in a separate book. $29.97, $29.98. I love you. Love on yourself. Last thing, because I need to give this more love. Asia's animated series. I actually, me and my ancestors create Asia's animated series. It stems from the Unconditional Love Literature Parcel universe. Asia animated series is now available to stream for free on AP Short Stories here. AP Short Stories on YouTube. I'll see y'all later. Bye. Wake up, bro, you back to me. Wake up, bro.
My name is Asia, and I'm a teenage witch. Just kidding. I am a starseed. My story is much like humanity's story. I awakened to some pretty spectacular things about myself. Coming home, the story of Asia, followed by the story of Asia, I'm home. The book series that introduces the book. After returning from a day's trip, I have read my Atom's letter. He speaks of my father releasing him from imprisonment and the fate of death. He pleads for us to run away together. This plea is one of which there is no state to decline. My other half, available in the Amazon bookstore. I feel as though I was born here on Earth to find you. I was created to find my person. The Unconditional Love Literature Parcel, now available in the Amazon bookstore. Slowly.
no fall.